So obviously, I think the last video I shot was with the transmission out of the car, and that was, you know, fairly long time ago, I think, probably a month and a half, 2. So I'll do quick update on what's changed, and then I'll move into details. So obviously I threw the the more lightweight wheels back on, just for street stuff. Those are a little sketchy up top. I'm just not really used to a 4x4 soft sidewall type thing. Rear-wheel drive cars, it's a little easier just because you at least have somewhat of a hard tire up front. But it's just a lot more stable on these, even though these are 195 and those are 225, or 7-inch versus 8-inch. But changes on the car so far, or since last video, obviously the PagParts SRX 950, same size as a G35 1050 or a 6862, but it's, I guess you would consider it Zona rotor style wheels. So it's a 7+7 comp wheel and a 5+5 turbine. Housings are obviously a lot bigger than the TPC unit, which was the major downfall. That's over there. But you can pretty clearly see the housing size difference, at least the compressor housing. Compressor housing is a lot fatter and flowing a lot more air. Even at higher boost levels, I'm not hitting the same amount of, I guess, compressor heat. But obviously that turbo is working great. Other change is the PagParts low pressure fuel pump. It's just a single pump. It's an E5LM, and that's a brushless pump. And I have that wired up with a PM5, similar to a PM4, but for brushless stuff. And we're running that. We're at 80%, and we still have plenty of fuel left over. Or I still have plenty of fuel left over, so need to get used to stop saying we so much. Recent changes were CSF radiator. It's a little thicker than most, by about, I'd say, half, but it's a triple pass instead of a single pass, and it's just a lot thicker. Also went to the Treadstone 1245R, so it's a 4.5-inch thick core instead of the usual 3.5 that I've been running. That was that was a much needed change. Honestly, I think I could go to a better intercooler eventually, but we'll see. Other change is CTS, or not CTS MPI, but the 1500s from Deutschwerks port injectors. And those are doing great. Probably could go to 1700s or a little further, maybe like 2100s, but I mostly don't feel like swapping connectors at the moment or getting a jumper harness, and I don't really need it at the moment. Even at map 5, I'm not peeking them out at all. But I think that's it in terms of changes. I did recently cut a little bit of weight. I took the carpet out, as well as the trim pieces here and over there. Trim pieces up here. And then in the back, obviously, just carpet out. This was already like this. I had taken this stuff out. And then obviously some sound deadening that doesn't do anything. Some GoPro stuff, PM5, whatever, pretty simple. Carpet, or pretty much everything from the carpet up. So yeah, I guess the carpet up, and then the trim stuff here and whatnot, is all about 40 40 to 42 pounds. So if you're looking to cut almost 50 pounds out of the car and you don't really care about it anymore, then, you know, fuck it. But as far as that goes, those are the, you know, main changes. So info on the car. I'm not going to go into numbers at the moment because I'm actually struggling to find races. People keep backing out and things like that. This upcoming Friday, the only technical runs I have is a buddy with a ZL1, and I'm not going to post that video right away, or maybe ever. Just to kind of see where the car's at, see how the car's reacting, and then as well as just some leader bikes. I hope that kind of puts in maybe into perspective as to where the car's at the moment. Some people know the numbers, they're out there, but it's mostly just in-platform people that would be able to figure that out or know where it's at. As far as anything else goes, I am tuning it myself now, so I'm doing all the calibration for engine and transmission, which is transmission took about a week and a half to learn. Engine took about 2 weeks, 2.5. Did need some help just getting started and kind of learning the CMOS tools, kind of how it works and whatnot. But once that's figured out, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm kind of shocked that tuners charge as much money as they do, but you know, hey, whatever. Maybe I just know my car and whatnot. As far as anything else goes, not really much changed. Car does great numbers on the SRX unit. It's still pumping 85. I will throw E90 or Ignite Red or maybe 1R or E98 at it, just to see what that does. It's definitely on par to get the 60 to 130 record for the platform. Did some test hits last night and I posted that on Instagram. Maxed out the air mass in top third gear just because it over boosted a little bit to 53 pounds. Just kind of runs away on that first initial gear and then it smooths out. And I was map 5. The head porting is phenomenal. The guys over at A to B are switching to the 4-port, and if you care about numbers, my 2-port flows still more than an OEM 4-port head that some guys are switching to now. Not saying that a 4-port couldn't be ported and flow more than the 2-port. That could absolutely happen, but as far as stock versus ported 2-port or CNC ported 2-port from Thomas is a pretty good chunk still than the 4-port. As far as everything else goes, I mean, the car's obviously solid, just kind of need to get some races for it. Map 3 is probably what I'll be running for majority of cars that are, I would say, around 800 or a little above 800. Anything more than that, map 4, and then anything close to 1,000 or 1,000 plus, definitely run map 5. And then any money races will definitely be on Ignite Red or E90, or even 1R, and just give me that little extra power up top, or not even up top, but car's definitely gonna shock a lot of people, put it that way. Car leaves insanely hard. The 60 to 100 data is, I can't say much, but it's interesting to say the least. It's definitely taking a lot of the stuff from the stock motor setup and just transferring it to a more higher horsepower build, and it just fucking works. I mean, there's some cars on the platform that I am beating in terms of 6130 times that I am doing with, I mean, around 100 to 125 wheel horsepower less. And a lot of that's got to do with just the way the car is set up and just how much I care about perfection. And obviously some of it's, you know, my tuning calibration now. ECU not too much, but transmission definitely. Just the way that I need things to work in order to be at its absolute maximum efficiency, because that's mostly what I care about, is just efficiency. I don't really care about peak power or how much power. It's all about how fast can I go and how can I make it as safe as possible. But obviously, they give some data. The TPC unit the fastest it went was a 5.8, 6130, and that was at like 88 degrees or something, or like 2000 DA. That was on these tires. The fastest that turbo went on these tires was like a 6.0. So no tune change, just wheel change and drop 0.2. As far as anything else goes, when I do go for the record for the 6130, obviously I won't have a passenger. I like testing with a passenger just because that's how it will be when I'm racing. But I'll obviously drop, you know, the weight of the passenger, and then I'll take the passenger seat out, and that'll cut, you know, around almost 200 pounds out of it. But I don't really have much else to say. I got some work to do on the car.